Good catch, we're home now. There we are. Hey, how are you?
Oh, how are you?
You'll never guess who I met while I was up in the vets today.
Who?
That fella with the terrible affliction. You know, all the sons had the same problem.
How do you mean?
Well, let's just say that every pair of trousers had 3 legs.
I know who you're talking about. Nicky Moore.
That's right. There was the father, Dick Moore.
That's right. And the brother, Willie Moore.
Yeah.
And what was the youngest one called?
They just called him the lad.
Yeah. Do you remember that year the cousin came over from somewhere foreign? Germany, I think.
Jesus, I do. Sure, he could hardly walk with the affliction.
Oh, terrible.
He had to ride a lady's bike. What was his name?
Helmut Moore.
Helmut Moore, that's it. Wasn't it the Moors that lived across the river from that waster, Rory O'Pleurisy? Remember him, the big bollock?
That's right, but that's not something you'd say in front of the Moors. Do you remember Mrs. O'Pleurisy?
Tell you what, Mrs. O'Pleurisy, she was the nicest owl one you could ever meet.
She was that. And Rory knew from a young age that his mother was a soft touch. His father was the only one that could get him out of bed and make him do a bit of work around the place.
So what happened to the father?
He just never came home from work one day.
Okay.
No one knew what happened to him.
I suppose Rory and his mother were heartbroken all the same.
Oh, she was devastated, but he didn't give a shite. With the father out of the way, he was on the pig's back. Ma, where's me dinner? Ma, get us some fags. Ma, get us me slippers. He used to whinge, and she'd do everything for him. 'Cause without her husband, young Rory was the only family she had left.
Tell you what, that fella's a right arseache.
He was. Sure, she had 3 cleaning jobs just to keep him in drinking money and for putting on the GGs. And if she had no money for him, he threatened to burn the one thing she held dear. Her wedding photo that hung above the fireplace. She often looked at the photo and wept, wondering whether her beloved husband was alive or dead. One day the mother got an awful flu and couldn't go to work. Rory was getting impatient as the money was running out. Then one evening, after spending the last bit of money they had on drink, he took the wedding photo from above the fireplace and smashed it on the grate. Poor Mrs. O'Pleurysy's heart was broken in as many pieces as the frame.
What a scuffering gobsheen that fella was.
The next day, Mrs. O'Pleurisy went up into the attic in search of a replacement frame. She was sure there was one up there that would suit. Perhaps in the old wedding chest. She hadn't looked in it for 30 years. She lifted the dusty lid, and inside was greeted by her husband's rotting corpse, with maggots crawling through the eye socket.
Was it the son? Did she call the guards, huh?
No. She went back downstairs, calm as you like, sellotaped the wedding photo together, stuck it back over the fireplace, and took a carving knife to her wrists.
For the mother of St. Bernard in a Batmobile! I never heard anything as tragic! And that son probably got away with everything, did he?
Well, not quite.
Oh.
He had his mother buried in a pauper's grave and was quite happy to live off the insurance. 3 weeks after the funeral, there was a knock at the door. It was the brand new parish priest. I'm not the holy type, Father, so if you don't mind, he said, trying to close the door. The priest pushed past. I'm here to give the last rites, my son, he said. Where is the poor unfortunate? He explained that a woman had called to the parish house that morning and said that a young man at this address was in need of the last rites and a chance to cleanse his soul. What are you talking about? Get out, Rory said. But that's the woman there, the priest said, as he pointed at the photograph. Rory's eyes met the eyes of his mother. Rory felt a coldness grip around his neck as he fell to the ground, stone cold dead.
Oh.
With the weight of 1,000 mortal sins.
Jesus.
Anyway, so what did the vet say?
He said it's best we put her down.
No. All right, so brave face on. No point in putting off the inevitable. First thing in the morning, we'll dig a hole in the back garden.
Very sad.
I know.
Ah, well, I suppose Granny's had a good owl innings all the same.
Oh, she has, to be sure.
Yeah.